Okay, welcome back to Demon Slayer Anime Review Special number 16. This is the last special I'm going to do for this series because, well, I'm reviewing the final chapter of the series. Chapter 205, which is called Life Across the Years. Yep, taking place almost a century after the events of the previous chapter. Yeah, why in the world they decided to do this big of a time skip? This is by far the biggest time skip I have ever seen for a franchise. I mean, the most I've seen is 10. This is like almost 100 years in the future. Yes. Chapter starts off with two people who are descendants of Tojiro, who are brothers, along with his sister, who's a spitting image of Nezuko. First, we have the elder brother, Kenta, who is 16, and Shimiko, who was 15, who looks almost exactly like Tojiro with the red hair. Because this is actually, yeah, the first few pages are actually color pages. Yes, that's quite not unusual for the series, but not the first thing they did. Yes. And apparently, Kenta's getting ready for school. Semiko's still in bed trying to sleep. And then we cut to another person who is possibly a descendant of Tojiro. They don't really say. His name is Ashima. I mean, in the case of the first chapter, yeah, these two are descendants of Tojiro, but who he married is never a question. And we see Yoshiro Yashima, who is apparently the great grandson of Tojiro, probably from his distant, probably one of his kids got married. I'm not really sure. They don't really explain this. He apparently is 17. He's reading a novel that apparently Tojiro wrote after he defeated Mazen from after he defeated Mazen, and is referred to by his sister as a novel of lies. His sister Tadeko, who's 18, and he is like younger, and she's a spitting image of Nezuko. Like, my gosh, she looks exactly like her. Except she doesn't wear a Komodo. Yep. And she kicks her in the back because she's reading. He's like, you reading great grandpa's books again? You say you're reading novel Elias again? Yeah. Exams come up. I can't believe you. Your grades are abysmal. They were so cool. They risked their lives in the middle. Go be cool like them and study. Of course, she pulls his ear. And he's like, the other women in our family are so quiet and polite. But my big sister is something else entirely. Yes, and this, when they show this image of them standing next to each other, this is very standard a lot of the time, where sometimes the younger sibling might be taller than the older one. In case you're wondering, is this true with me? Yes. My brother is about 2 inches taller than I am. Yes, so this is nothing unusual. This is perfectly normal for this to happen, where sometimes the younger sibling is taller than the older one. It's not always the case, but it does happen. Where then he asks her basically, you believe in reincarnation, huh? What's the look in your face? Are you mad? No. But everyone who fought demons and died in a peaceful world were reborn to a happier life. And then she just looks at her phone and is like, listen. He's like, wow, of course you see, oh, it's the someone who looks exactly like the snake pillar, who is apparently a gold medalist, and Nezuko's got a thing for him. And of course, she's looking at her smartphone. Yep, that's when we could tell we're in modern day. And then we see a version of the insect pillar. Actually, I think it's her assistant. Which there was hints of possibly I think Tojiro may have had a thing for her assistant, but it was never explored at all. And we see a woman who looks like spitting image of her. Her name is Aba Hashibira. Yeah. Actually, no, it's not. It's actually, it might be Inosuke. Yeah, it kind of looks like him. And then we see some other woman with two twins. And apparently, yeah, these are their cousins. Yeah, Toko is Kanta's cousin. Yep. Like, hi Kanta. Good morning, Toko. Your hair's so curly today. It's cute. You think so? He's hey, of course the cute school. I've been busy how to cast curses to watch out. Yep, and then we see looks like I think it looks like the stone pillar. Looks like he's raising some kids. And see, look like a reincarnation of the love pillar. Look like she works at a bakery. Okay. And then we see Kenta's younger brother wake up. And then, oh no, I'm running late. Why didn't you wake me up? He's like leaving. And of course, he jumps down. I want. He's like, I want to get that perfect attendance. Up, hurry. And of course, he's doing a lot of parkour. Sorry, coming through. See, it looks like the old man who was Zenosuke's mentor. I think this guy here is supposed to be Zenosuke, but probably reincarnation. He's on television. And we see they're running by a police car. We see the little girls, which I think these little girls might be a reincarnation of the assistants, the younger little kids of the insect pillar. Yeah, that's what these kids look like. It's the running guy. Oh, that's a weird nickname. Of course, he runs. Of course, he gets run over a police car. And then we see the... I don't remember his name. It's basically a couple of the pillars. The one who are brothers. Yeah. The two were left, one was left alive. And then we see what looks like a reincarnation of the fire pillar's younger brother. Like, oh man, am I making time? Oh, what'd you get? And of course, she runs right past them. And we see a guy named Gato, who looks Gato. Is that your girlfriend? She's Philippines. I know about them. And apparently, this guy Kento has been painting all about Tako's basically her reincarnation. And then we see the fire pillar running with. He calls him Tojiro, and like, really? Why would we call him that? I think this guy's supposed to be Tojiro, the guy who's reincarnation of the fire pillar, and Shimako was one of the reincarnation of Tojiro, and of course they run. Of course they run with a police car, and they're about to be late. They hop over the fence, and they're there just in time, barely made it. A peaceful day, and they think it's supposed to be the former leader of the Demon Corps. And we see a kid's like, I wish to live in the mountains. And then we see possibly a descendant of Tojiro says, yes, this is the commander residence. What? My son did that? Sorry for the trouble. And then we see this wonderful picture of the various surviving characters who didn't die at the end of the previous chapter. Yep, take us one big picture. And that's it. That's the end of the chapter and the series. I'm like, okay. Radiant, I'm basically confused. Like, okay, they don't state what year it is. They say it's modern day. They don't say what year it is. It could be the 21st century. It's possible. They don't really say exactly what happened to the surviving characters after Mazin's defeat. I mean, yeah, they went home, but that's all we got from it. This is an okay chapter, but with this one, you're reading it like, man, I have a boatload of questions. First of which, who's his kid's father? Because we don't see him in this chapter. We see his mother, briefly. Don't see her face, so it seems like we just have a boatload of questions. And why is it like a lot of the characters pop in this chapter just happen to be reincarnations of characters who died? And apparently you don't think it's revealed that happened after the events last chapter, is that Tojiro wrote a book on his battles. Yeah, he wrote a book that apparently his great-granddaughter calls the Book of Lies. If you read the series, you're like, wow. Yeah. Of course, they don't. Yeah. Okay chapter, and give it a 8.5 out of 10. Really felt like it was a step down from the last chapter. It felt like a really good ending to the series. Now, final thoughts on this particular series. The series, the manga itself, is really, really good. I thoroughly enjoy reading it. The anime, of course, is really good. And here are the questions I have basically for this particular chapter. Aside from the fact that Tojiro wrote a book afterwards, what else happened after they went home? What happened in the intermediate time between 204 and 205? I mean, the last time we saw something similar to this, I've seen this done in a couple series where they have these time skips and we show what the characters' children are up to, but this is the great grandkids, mind you. The series took place in the 20s. Yes, it took place in the early 20th century, in the 20s, where we saw Model Ts. Yeah. Now, oh yeah, and of course, it was revealed also in the last chapter the Demon Court disbanded because, well, demons all gone. So, what's the purpose of the Demon Court? What happened to the survivors? Never explained. Did Tojiro get married? Who did Tojiro marry? Yeah, this is something basically I would like to see explored, but in the case of this chapter here, I kind of felt this though with this chapter. I mean, sometimes basically when they end these chapters and these series, they have this final chapter that could be potentially set for a sequel. This, I don't know where you can go from here. I kind of felt this though we're missing a bunch of story here that could lead up to this. Yes, did Inosuke marry Nezuko? It's nothing unusual that descendants basically would look like their grandfathers. This is nothing unusual. I've seen this in episode of One Piece, where this old man's grandson was a spitting image of him when he was younger. Yeah, but it's an okay chapter. It's not terrible per se. It's just I kind of felt as though we're missing a lot of story here. And this chapter, if you wonder how long this chapter was, 25 pages. Yes. And it felt as though this chapter went at a very quick pace. Oh my gosh. This chapter was so quick. We just show off all these characters who just happen to look like characters we know and love from the action series. And surprisingly, there's no one who looks like Mazin. I mean, aside from what happened afterwards, there's another question I've been having for quite a while. What the heck happened to Mazin's family? I mean, he apparently started his own family, like a wife and daughter. It is never revealed what happened to them after their sole appearance in the Asakusa arc. That was the only appearance this family made. After that, they never appeared ever again. It's unknown if Mazin killed them or did something to them. It's never explained. Nope. Never explained. Mazin, of course, is definitely dead. And could it be possible it can come back in the future? It's distinctly possible. But the way this chapter was doesn't lead to a possibility. I mean, there's references to demons, but there's no demons in this chapter. There's nothing. Yeah. But good series. Weak final chapter. Yeah, this chapter felt very weak. It's like they just show off all these characters who just happen to be descendants of characters we know and love from the previous series. What we show throughout the entire series, and we kind of feel this all just one character being late, and another character might have another thing for another one. Giro, he doesn't look like any of the characters. Basically, he looked like an original character that the writer just somehow came out. And apparently, he has a thing for Toko. Yeah, but all in all, okay chapter. Okay, so that's a particular review. My next review on the newest chapter for My Hero Academia. After that, be on to How Not to Summon Demon Lord. Okay? See you next video. Bye.